we're great believers in the race to reduce. It really is a continuation of the work that was started back in 2008 when the Canada Green Building Council started work on benchmarking office buildings across Canada. We were working with them on that at the time. That led to a series of new understandings around information about energy use in buildings, about what makes high-performing buildings, what the characteristics are of buildings that use more energy. And the original thesis of the council was that half the energy use in office buildings could be avoided across the country, and the numbers that represents are huge in terms of greenhouse gas emissions reductions, in terms of cost savings, in terms of just upgraded real estate. From that original benchmarking work, RealPAC picked up that initiative in terms of setting the 20 by 15 goal, brought together Green Building Council and BOMA as co-sponsors of that work. And then flowing out of that directly was Greening Greater Toronto and their notion of bringing landlords and tenants together, which was really a key theme of the 20 by 15 effort. Is it's not to do with capital retrofits. You don't have to spend millions of dollars fixing up buildings. You just have to use them and operate them more cleverly, and the tenants were integral players within that. You couldn't get to high performance buildings without tenants being involved. So when Greening Greater Toronto picked up that theme of let's get the landlords and tenants together to work on that, when a number of major tenants and major landlords bought into the idea, that's something that's excited us. So we're quite involved with the technical and the communications development of the whole initiative now. There really are a number of carrots and sticks available to landlords right now. One of the driving forces with landlords really is the demand from the tenants. It's kind of an interesting evolution that major tenants are demanding greener space. So from a landlord standpoint, there's a real need to stay competitive and to respond to what has become an imperative. So that's the push side of things. I believe that when RealPAC first became involved in this space, part of that was to mitigate the possibility of regulations that may be unattractive. In other words, if the industry is proactive on its own, it will avoid government regulating. And there still really is the sense that climate change is going to be an issue that will require more forceful action by governments in the years to come. And I think RealPAC's done a great job of establishing the commercial real estate sector as being leaders in this space, and by implication, hands off, leave us alone. We're already doing this. On the benefit side, the operating cost savings numbers are really quite substantial. The interest of employees in being part of green solutions and so on is a big deal. So there are very few such win-wins everywhere. And then this year in particular, along comes in Ontario, the electric utilities and the gas utilities with really big incentives saying that we'll actually pay you to do what makes sense and save money and save the environment and so on. So there's very little in the real estate space right now which is quite as positive as this, where there are so many good reasons to do things, whether it's because you're inclined to do the right thing or whether it's because you're fearful of the wrong things coming along to bite you over time. So this is really a good time, an important time for landlords to step up, to keep tenants, to keep happy, to keep their employees working, to save money, just limitless reasons. Tenants, to some extent, were always integral players, but there was somehow the green facility piece always ended up in the facilities group. And meanwhile, the property managers were dealing with tenants, and some of that connection never got made. I think the reality now that you can't get there from here without engaging directly with the tenants, that they're active players in this. What they do when they turn their lights off, when they buy more energy efficient equipment, whether they know that the landlord's working on their behalf. So all of those things have been there for some time. Now they're actually Greening Greater Toronto is bringing those things together, and it really has such a profound impact. So what's in it for the tenants? The first part obviously is cost savings. The second part, those that have corporate social responsibility commitments that they've made need to show results, and the landlords can actually produce the data they need to support their annual reports in that area. So that's helpful. But we differentiate between tenants and occupants. So the tenants are the people who contract to use the space. The occupants are actually the people that live there and work there and so on. it's a good feeling within the space to be contributing to a cause like being energy efficient, a cause like greening the environment. It's things that can learn there that they can take home with them. So it's a nice connection between the workplace and the home. So that's part of the angle that works its way through. But the actions that the tenants actually takes sort of becomes that missing ingredient that's there. That again, the equipment they select, the engagement of their IT departments in looking at computer network controls, their occupational health and safety folks being concerned about the indoor air quality, the indoor environment, because these programs invariably involve significant examination and testing of building systems. So you wind up with what we've characterized as kind of happy, healthy, productive workspaces with tenants that feel good about what's going on at work, that take those ideas home and replicate them. And this really becomes sort of a wedge in terms of moving the whole green agenda forward with the public at large. So that extension from the tenant in the building to the tenant going home, and how that can transform a much broader part of the economy than simply the office building sector as a standalone piece. This we like that dynamic. We think that's a very powerful piece of how this whole agenda is moving forward.